Folks, listen, this is a live stream and I might be interacting with the viewers, but I'm going to be showing a lot of new information in this video. And so make sure you watch the whole video and um, understand and be patient because it's so difficult to present this information because I'm trying to explain the unexplainable, okay? I'm telling you guys, this is biblical prophecy that I'm trying to, you know, interpret, okay? And you're going to see Elvis, who is the beast out of the sea, all right? He represents the beast out of the sea. And this June 11th event is the biblical beast out of the sea event in Washington State. And one of the heads of the beast has a head wound, and the world wonders after the beast. That's the August 4th event, which is the Trump. Trump gets his head wound on August 4th in Ohio. Okay, so that's the beast that gets the head wound. Okay, but the beast out of the sea is the June 11th event, which connects to Elvis because everything is about Elvis. Elvis is the real Antichrist. Trump is the image of the Antichrist. Okay, this video is mainly about the June 11th event in Washington State. Okay, and if you're new to the channel, you got to watch my live streams. Just work your way back from the most recent live stream and just work your way back. Okay. Anyway, so like I said, just be patient and follow along. Okay. Oh, before I start, let me just show you this image. You know what? Let me just start the video. Okay. Anyone who gets in late, just tell them to watch from the beginning. Okay. So you know that this video is not about Martin Luther King, okay? Because I have done so many videos on all of these connections that I've shown. So don't think I'm going to be showing all this information about Martin Luther King. So you know Elvis, he lived and died in Memphis, Tennessee, okay? Elvis. And Martin Luther King Jr., the civil rights guy, he was supposedly killed in Memphis, Tennessee. So the king, Elvis, had the king whacked, okay? And why this is important, okay, is because that Martin Luther King is now named after the Seattle's King County. Okay, it's now named after Martin Luther King, that king. So King County, where Seattle is, okay, is in King County. Now, I'm putting here that it's going to be the new ground zero. All right, but let me just tell you something. It's going to affect all of the West Side, especially. So they might just say this is the ground zero, but it's going to affect much more than just this area. You know what I mean? The most likely it's going to affect this other area that I'm going to show you in this video. But they're probably going to be ending up talking about this place because it's the most popular place over there in Washington State. Okay? Now, so let me just show you what I'm talking about, okay? So you know back in during the pandemic, they were calling that area in Seattle that I'm talking about the chop zone, okay? And don't you think that's a weird name to be calling a place a chop zone, okay? And so they were calling it the chop zone. And why were they calling it the chop zone? Is because look, see this part of Seattle right here? Look. So this is Seattle right here where King County is around this area over here. So this is Seattle. And notice this part right here. See? This is Elvis's head right here. All right, see the hair way up here and the face. This is the front of the face. This is the neck area. This is the back of the head. So they were calling this place the chop zone. So if they were to chop this off, okay, that would be like taking a bite out of the apple because Washington is the apple state. It's biblical, okay? And notice I told you it looks like his head. See, there's Elvis's head. See how the hair is way up there? Okay? That's what you're seeing. Okay? Now, and let me just tell you something else, okay? Because this is the next 9/11, and Manhattan, where where was the first 9/11? Because the next 9/11 is the 6/11, the basically like the upside down, but which is not why I said 6/11, but it just came out to be that way. All right. Did the white settlers call Seattle, New York? Listen. So look at it. See, the white settlers came to Seattle in 1851. Look at this. They first called it New York, this area. So now there's another connection. You see what I'm telling you? So you have you see what I'm talking about? Weird connections, just weird, okay? The fact that and I'm telling you, the next 9/11 is going to be, the next ground zero is going to be in Seattle, and that's called New York originally, you know. How many hours from New York to Seattle? What? Am I saying that wrong? No. What's the how many miles between New York and Washington State? I messed up.
According to distance calculator.
Forget it. It's not even worth it. I was going to show you that it was something to do with 42 hours. Is it 42 hours between New York and Washington State? Not by plane. I think it was by car or something. That's probably where I got it from. Yeah, the total driving time is 42 hours. Yeah, that's why I got confused. I said, what am I doing? Yeah, because you know why? Washington's the 42nd state. That's why I was saying that. And Elvis died at the age of 42. See, that's another connection to that. But anyway, so let me, again, one more time, explain to you why I'm showing that. Remember, they were calling it the chop zone, okay? That area, okay? Let me just, one more time. Just one more time. All right. I know it's not starting well, this video. Like I said, it's a long video, folks. So remember, I was telling you that this area right here is Seattle area. And this is where King County is. And this is Elvis's head. See? Okay. The Elvis head is right here. The hair way up here. So and they were calling this place the chop zone right here. So if they cut this off, that would be another head wound. Okay. Now, why am I showing this? Because that area right here, this Olympic Mount, let's find out. Let's find out the main. Let's look at the area code for that place. Look at this. Let me show you what I'm about to show you here. Okay, so we already know that Seattle's area code is 206, and then they put a new area code 564. Okay, so they're not showing you 206 because it's right around in here, the 206, okay? But what we want to focus on is this 360, because that's what this is right here, the 360 area code. Okay, the 564 got added later. So the original one for this area for Elvis's head was 360. Okay, 360 was Elvis's head. Now let's get into the video. Okay, let me just see if there's anything else I have to show here. So yeah, we're talking about Elvis's head. Okay, that's the three, and I'm calling it the chop zone, and the 360. Okay, because the chop zone was over here, but I'm just saying they're gonna chop this off probably. Okay, but anyway, we're talking about the 360 now. Let's get into it. Oh, before I show that again, remember, Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. Okay. And so the king had the king whacked. Okay. And that was the same year Elvis did his comeback special, and he made a song, "If I Can Dream," which had to do with the Martin Luther King. That's what the song was dedicated to, basically. All right, when he did his comeback special that same year. Anyway, like I said, the new ground zero is going to be Seattle, and Seattle is now named, the Seattle King County is now named after Martin Luther King. It was originally named after somebody else. Okay, now, so let's get started here. So now we're talking about the area code 360, which is the Elvis head that I just showed, the chop zone that they're going to chop off. Not the chop zone itself, because the chop zone was the Seattle area, the 206 area code. But the Elvis head part, which they might chop off, okay? Look at that. Area code 360. You'll see why that's important. Implemented on 1/15/95. All right? And the 9495 is a big deal because it connects to my birthday, but that's not what it's about. It's about America's age, has to do with the date 9495. And I'll explain that later. But right now, pay attention to the 115, okay? And 95. That is MLK's birthday, okay? Remember, the King County is named after Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. Okay, so MLK's birth is 1/15/29 up to 1/15/95 when that area code was implemented. Okay, it's 66 years. The word twin equals 66, and from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, just like the twin. Okay. And so basically, I'm just showing you how it's connected to MLK's birth, the 360 area code when it was implemented in that area where Elvis's head is. Okay, and you think it's a coincidence that Martin Luther King, his birthday's 1/15, right? Which I just told you the area code was implemented on that day. He died on 4/4. It was a leap year that year. See, it was regularly, it would be 94th day, which is my birthday, 9/4, but I was born on a leap year, so it landed on the 9/5 day of the year. So my birthday is, lands on the September 4th, September 5th, 9/4/95. But the date 4/4 is normally 94th day of the year, but because it was a leap year, it's 95. So look at that, 1/15, 95th day of the year. Are you getting it? It was implemented 1/15/95, okay? And it's the twin connection, 66 years, okay? From MLK's birth. Do you understand that? Before I move on, I know already everyone's probably confused because I told you, imagine trying to explain this. It's so ridiculous, So please bear with me, man, Hold on. Also, make sure you thumb up the video when you get a chance. Yes, I know that. I said on a leap year, it's the 95th day of the year. It was a leap year when MLK was killed. Okay? Pay attention. 94th day of the year is April 4th, but on a leap year, it's the 95th day. It's 94/95, which connects to my birthday being September 4th, but it was a leap year, so it landed on the 9/5 day. Okay? Now, sticking to that, to the 115 connection, did you know that Washington, they say, is the first president, right? But do you know that there was 14 unofficial presidents before George Washington? So basically, George Washington is the first and the 15th president. Okay, and the 15 is the crown number. The letter O is the crown. Okay, and the letter O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. So he's the first and the 15th. That's MLK's birthday. You see what I'm saying? 115. And again, how does MLK connect to my birthday? My birthday is the 247, 248 day of the year. Even the prime numbers. The first prime number is 2. The 15th prime number is 47. 247, 247, which is September 4th, my birthday. But on leap year is 248. And right now, America's age is 248. It'll be 249 after June 11th. So on June 11th, it's still going to be 248 years, which is exactly my birth date was on the 248th day of the year because it was a leap year. Okay. Now, give me a second. So remember, this also connected to, Martin Luther King being born on 115 and all the stuff that I was showing. And also, it just so happens that the first Super Bowl was on 115. And it was Green Bay, and you know that Seattle's known as the Emerald City, all about green. It's the Washington State is the evergreen state, okay? And Green Bay, the winning coach is Vince Lombardi, and the Super Bowl trophy is named after him. And look, that Super Bowl, that Vince Lombardi is born on June 11th. Okay, I've talked about all the Super Bowl stuff. I'm not bringing it up right now. I'm just trying to show you that even the Super Bowl, had to do with the 115, the very first Super Bowl. Okay, and that's why the trophy is named after Vince Lombardi, the guy who won the first 2 Super Bowls, and he's born on June 11th. So the trophy is now June 11th. That's what they're telling you. Okay. And yes, Elvis equals 67. And that's why the Super Bowl was in 67, Listen, I don't want to get into all that, but so again, just real quick. Sorry, I'm not going to move this stupid quarter on here. It's all sitting in, making this noise. So let me one more time show the Elvis head. And remember, it's the chop zone. Was in Seattle during the pandemic, and I told you that if they cut that part of Elvis's head off, So this is the chop zone was right here in Seattle. So they were calling it the chop zone before they changed it to a different name, but the chop zone was the first name they called it. And if they chopped this part off, it would be like chopping off Elvis's head. See? That's Elvis's head right there. All right. It's a perfect match, folks. I mean, the hair and everything. The hair's way up here, hair's way up here. Anyway, so that area right here is the 360 area code, okay? Give me a second to get this together here. Okay, we got a lot of stuff. So that area is the Seattle's the 206 area code, but that area is the 360 area code. And look, it's split in 1995. Get it? It's split. It's another connection to them being the chop zone because it's split into the 360, that area. Because the original area code for Washington State was 206, and it's split into the 360, okay? That area of Elvis's head. But now that part of Elvis's head, because Washington State, the capital is Olympia, and Olympia is where that Elvis's head is, okay? And that's the capital. The area code for that area is 360 and 564 because 564 was just added to Seattle and everywhere else. Okay, and I've explained why that's important. But look at this real quick. So those 2 area codes for that Elvis head, 360 and 564, adds up to 924. Look, Elvis's birth is 1/8 and his death was 8/16. You add that up, it's 924. You see that? You see that? The area codes for Elvis's head. Okay? And if you still think that's a coincidence, what about the area codes that Seattle had? 206, and the new one was 564, right? 206 and 564, you add it up, you get 770. Elvis died in 77, and there's your crown, the letter O, or zero, the zero to the hero. So Elvis died in 77, and you have the 77 right there. And you'll see how it all connects. You'll see it won't be a coincidence later when I show you. Okay, so let me show one more time. So remember, Elvis's head is this, right? And they were calling it the chop zone over here during the pandemic. So they're gonna probably chop something off, or there's gonna be a missing piece somewhere. Okay, now give me a second. So Elvis, he was born on 1/8, and I told you that if you've been watching my videos, I've been telling you how he needs the 1/9. Okay, because 1 through 9 equals 45, and that's what that whole Trump, because the 45 is the bridge. Okay, but I'm not going to show that in this video. So Elvis was born on 1/8. If you add up all the numbers between 1 through 8, you get 36. If you add up all the numbers between 1 through 36, you get 666. So everything to do with this 36, 360, 306, you understand? It's the same thing. 306, 360, 36. It's all connected to the 666. And that's why Elvis's birthplace, his address for his birthplace was 306. Okay? His address was 306. If you look it up, it's 306 Elvis. It's right now, I don't know what the heck the address is. I believe it's just Elvis Presley, but I'm going to look it up real quick. If I could find my phone. I just want to make sure that you guys know that that's what it is, because I'm about to show you something else. What is the address for Elvis Presley birthplace? Yeah, it's called Elvis Presley Drive, but here's the address. See, 306, okay, for the Elvis Presley birthplace, all right? Yeah, in Tupelo, okay? There it is, see, 306. Now, if you still think that's a coincidence, sorry about that. What about this one? What about this? So remember I told you Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. Look, he was killed at a hotel called Lorraine. First of all, look at the address of the place. There's your 45 with a crown. The address was 450 Mulberry Street, but look at the room number he was staying. 306. You see? Are you understanding now what I'm telling you? Okay? You think these are coincidences? The 36, the 45. Okay? And I told you that everything's about the EL. EL means God in Hebrew. Look at this. If you put L's, because it's ELEL, we're talking about two ELs. That's why Elvis has the EL. EL, L's equals 36, backwards 45. You see, it's 4563. It's the crown on the four. If you didn't see my video recently, I showed how these numbers are important. You got to watch the video. But right now, just forget all about that. I was just showing you how it's 36 and 45 backwards, the ELS. L's, like more than one. Okay? And so I was just showing you how it's 36 and 45 here. But anyway, the fact is that Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. Elvis' birthplace was 306 address. This guy's room was 306. And now Martin Luther King is named after Seattle's King County. You understand? All right. Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state. It's just connection after connection, okay? Now, and I told you guys that the O represents a portal. It represents a womb. It represents a crown. It represents an egg, an eye, a head, a face. Okay, so when you see the O, you're seeing a portal also. And the word Washington, where this event is going to be, Washington State, but the word Washington equals the same as the O, the letter O, portal, the O portal. Okay? Washington equals the O portal. Because that's, I told you, they're going to birth the beast out of the sea. Okay? And why am I bringing up this portal connection? You'll see in a moment. Just bear with me. Okay? So portal equals exactly the same as Elvis with a crown, the letter O. Because I told you, Elvis needs to go through the womb, through the matrix, the portal, the ring, the crown, the head. You know, they call it crowning when you go when a woman has a baby. The baby, when it goes, out the head comes out. They call it crowning. Okay. And so portal equals Elvis with a crown. And notice it's got 162. That's June 11th, the 162nd day of the year. And we're in the year 225. Because June 11th on our leap year is 163 day of the year. So it all has, it's got a lot of connections here. And by the way, the word Seattle equals 82. Okay, so a lot of stuff here. Now, why am I bringing this up? The portal. Okay, you're going to see in a moment. There is a place I need to take a break. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up, this portal, okay? You're not going to believe this. So let me just gather this stuff up. Because I told you, folks, this is probably the hardest video, man. One of the hardest videos to do. Because it's so much information and it's convoluted. So I'm trying to put it all together. So there's a reason why I'm bringing this portal thing up. I have arthritis, folks. That's why I have to take a break from holding the phone up. What is the area code for Port Angeles in Washington State? So listen, I'm showing you this. There's a place, okay? I don't have to show it to you. It's 100% what the area code is. I have it written down already. So this Port Angeles. Oh man, I can't even lift my. Hold on, folks. Okay, there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. You ready? Keep going here. So that place, remember the 360 area code is that Elvis head. The Elvis head is the 360 area code. The Olympia, the capital of Washington State. And Port Angeles is over there in that area. Okay, and you remember I'm talking about the portals, right? It says Port Angeles. All right, and the area code, like I said, is 360. Look at this. Look when this was founded. Look at this. Look at that. The city of Port Angeles was incorporated as a city on the date June 11th, 1890. Now, why is this important? Besides the June 11th, the obvious, because Elvis, he was born on 1/8, and I told you he needed the 9, and then he needed the crown, because that's how old he is right now, 90. So I told you he needed the 19. He got to 19, but he needed the 90 because last year he was 89. That wasn't enough. He needs the 90 because that's the bridge, the portal to the other side. Is the 9, then to the end, because remember 1 through 9 equals 45. The 45 is the bridge. So 1 through 9 equals 45. Then you have the bridge. The portal opens. When you get to that 45, opens a portal. So you needed that portal, the 90. He turned 90 this year. Okay? Port Angeles. Now, if you think that's still a coincidence, remember this. Look at this. 611, right? And then all those other numbers for the port Okay, now watch this. Look at this. If you put O Elvis, remember O Elvis equals portal. O Elvis equals portal. So if you were to put O Elvis Port Angeles June 11th, 2025, it equals 611. Look at that. And if you don't believe me, I can show it to you. Anyone wants me to just show it to you, I can on the calculator. I just wrote it up to make it more easier to see. So 611, and look, it's got the 206 area code, which is Seattle's area code, interestingly enough. Okay? All right? So remember, O Elvis equals portal, you know? So that's another connection there. But it's 611, and Port Angeles was incorporated as a city on 611, 1890. Okay? Anyway, keep watching. You'll see. I'm not done. Keep watching. Port Angeles, the area code is 360 and also 564. Seattle's area code is 206 and 564. You add all three of those up, you get 1130. Why is 1130 important? Look, the hands are on the 6 and 11 for 1130. See? 6 and 11. All right? So I'm adding up all three of the area codes for that area. You know, Seattle has that 564 and 360 has the 564, okay? Just watch. I'm not even done yet. Just watch where I'm going with this. So remember, we were talking about Port Angeles, being that area, Elvis's head area. It was incorporated as a city on 6/11, 1890, and I told you add up O Elvis with a crown, and then put Port Angeles, June 11, 2025, it equals 611. Okay? Now, watch. Remember, we're talking about this Angeles thing. Check this out. Watch what I'm showing you here. So there's a place called Angeles, Puerto Rico, right? You think it's called Puerto, but really the pronunciation is Puerto Rico. They say it. If you ask stupid Google to say it, they say Puerto Rico. But anyway, it's Angeles again. So you're saying Angeles and then Puerto. Angeles, Puerto Rico. But anyway, why am I showing you this? Angeles, Puerto Rico. You know why I'm showing you this? Because look what the zip code is over there. Zip code is 611. What's going on here? What's going on here? You have Angeles, and then remember, it's 611, the zip code. You have the Puerto, and I just showed you that the Port of Angeles in Washington was founded on 611, incorporated as a city, and then I showed you the 611 when you put it together, right? Okay? Do you get how stupid this is? I mean, how ridiculous it is, because it's the port. Now, why am I bringing this up? You'll see. Just keep watching. Just real quick, let me put my hand down. I can't even feel my hand, folks. It's completely numb. I got so much to go to. I don't know what I'm going to do, man. This video might be a complete waste because I might not be able to finish it. I have to restart it. Oh, man. Anyway, let me keep going. So remember, we're talking about Angeles, and why am I showing you this? Check this out. So the word Angeles, it just so happens, Angeles, look at this. It equals 63, 27, then 90 is the total. And then the backwards, the total is 162. Look at Elvis's age is 90. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year for Angeles, And the Space Needle in Seattle is going to turn 63 years old on April 21st, So it's just about to turn 63. So there's another connection there. But anyway, the point is that it's got, the Angeles has a connection. All right. Look, folks, I haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Just keep going. I mean, just be patient. I was just showing you another connection to her. And remember, I told you portal equals O Elvis, exact same numbers. And 162nd day of the year is June 11th. You know, Seattle equals 82. All the connections are right there. And look, Elvis is born on 8/35. But anyway, I mean 1/8/35. But forget about that. So Elvis equals, I mean, portal equals O Elvis. O Elvis with a crown equals portal. You think it's a coincidence that the word ports, Ports, equals the word Trump? Exactly. Ports, which also you could spell the word sport. But ports equals Trump. Okay? Ports equals Trump. And why am I bringing this up? Because do you know that there was a port strike just recently on 10/1/2024? Okay, now watch this. There was also a port strike. There was also a port strike in 1977, the year Elvis died. And the next time it happened, the port strike, was in 2024. And look, it was the same date it started. And look, this one was 44 days or 45 days. I'm not sure which one. They keep saying two different things. But 44, 45 is the connection, which I've been telling you about, which is also the bridge connection. But port strike in 1977, the year Elvis died. And then the next one was on 10/1/2024. Same date, you know, you see, in 2024, you know. And remember, Elvis died that year. And also, what else happened that year? You had a horse called Seattle Slew that won the Triple Crown on June 11th, 1977. There was a horse in horse racing. And horse racing is known as the sport of kings. Hold on. I got to take a break again. My hands won't go away. So pay attention. Remember, to strike something too is to hit. So port strike. All right, so they had a port strike last year on 10/1. Then in 1977, the year Elvis died, they had another port strike, same date, that lasted 44, 45 days. That same year in 1977, the year Elvis died, that was the year Elvis died, where they had the other port strike. That same year in horse racing, which is known as the sport of kings, a horse called Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. Slew means to violently kill. It's the past tense of the word slay, okay? So pay attention. So they're telling you Seattle's going to be slewed. And it was June 11th, 1977. And horse racing is known as the sport of kings. Elvis, known as the king. Seattle's in King County. MLK was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died, okay? Now watch. If you think these are coincidences, like I said. So why was the port strike on the same day? Okay? Think about this. Remember, we're talking about a strike and a port. Strike the port. Get it? Port strike. So look at this. So remember, Trump is the 47th president, and Elvis has been dead for 47 years. Remember that too, okay? Elvis has been dead 47 years, and Trump is the 47th president, okay? So the port strike, pay attention. It happened the last time in 1977, and then this time. Same date it started. Both of them. See the amount of days? If you add the day, it's 17,167 days. The prime number for 1977 is 17167. Do you understand? The 1977th prime number is 17167. Okay? And that was in 1977, the year Elvis died. Okay? So whatever equation I'm showing you right here would be the exact same equation from Elvis's death in 1977 to his death date anniversary on August 16th in 2024. So it would be the same equation, what you're seeing, what I'm about to show you. So And if you went from June 11th in 1977 to June 11th last year, it would be the same equation. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is that from Elvis's death in 1977 to his anniversary of August 16th in 2024, it would be the same equation you're seeing. So anyway, 1977, the 1977th prime is 17167, which is the amount of days in between the port strikes. Okay, now why am I showing this? Because remember, we're talking about that port strike. Look at the amount of years and months it was. 47 years or 564 months. 47 years or 564 months added up, 611. So do you see what you just saw there? 611, 17167 days is the 1977th prime. And when did I tell you Seattle slew won the Triple Crown? 611, 1977. You see what I'm saying? You see how perfect it is? 611, same port strikes. The prime, the amount of days is the prime number 1977. See? So 611, 1977, that's when Seattle slew won the Triple Crown. Are you getting it? Are you getting that? All right. So that's why you had the port strikes the same day, both times. Okay, because it had to connect to each other. Okay, yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. It's 6/11, 1976. So that's exactly what happened when Elvis turned 47 years dead on August 16th, his death anniversary of 47 years. It became that perfect number. I've shown that already. This is not something new. I've shown that. Okay, I'm just showing you the connection with the port strike with that. Okay, now if you still think that's a coincidence, remember, I'm telling you that America's age is 248 years right now. It won't be 249 till in July. So when June 11th happens, it's still going to be 248 years. And I told you September 5th, 9/5, because it's connected to my birthday, 9495. 9/4 is the 247, 248 day of the year on a leap year. 9/5 is 248, 249. And we're in between 248, 249, which is the 9/5. But because I was born on a leap year, 9/4 was landed on the 9/5. So everything to do with 9/4 and 9/5 is what the key is here. And America's age is with that. Now, remember, we're talking about port strikes, right? Did you know there's a port of Seattle? I guess, what is, what is going on, man? Anyway, I live on a side street and it's like so much noise, man. It's like an airport. Anyway, so there's a port of Seattle, okay? And guess when this port of Seattle opened? Look at this. Look at that. Port of Seattle opened on 9/5/1911. Look at that, will you? So you had the 9/5 connection. Remember, I was just telling you about the 9/5, the 248th day of the year. America's age is 248 years right now. And, you know, it's interesting that it's 1911. You have the 9/11 in there. But, yeah, I know. It sounded like a ship horn, didn't it? That was weird, man. Anyway, so, yeah, it sounded like we were at the port. That is weird, man. Anyway, and a siren went off. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm reading the chat. God bless all of you in the chat. And, you know, I'm not really looking at the chat, but I just see a few things that are interesting. Yeah. So check this out. So from that last port strike in 2024 to 6/11 is 254 days. And 254 days is actually 9/11. That's the 254th day of the year. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. That from the port strike, the last one that just happened, to 6/11 this year is 254 days. That's like the same as going from the first of the year to 9/11. Yeah. And from the port strike to 9/11, the port strike was on 10/1. From that date to 9/11 is 11 months, 11 days. And that's the day Washington was founded, 11/11. So there's a lot of connections to 9/11 also with of course there's going to be, because it's all connected, you know what I mean? Now, so we're talking about all these portals. We're talking about the port strikes. We're talking about Port of Seattle. We're talking about the Port Angeles. We're talking about the Angeles, Puerto Rico. Get it? So everything's about this. So check this out. There's also a Los Angeles portal. I mean, a Los Angeles port. The LA port. Look at that. LA port is portal. LA and portal. There's that Angeles again. And that's, I came here from Beirut, Lebanon in 1969, which is the Crown connection, 6 and 9. But Angeles, there's that Angeles again. Okay, and you got the port of Los Angeles, right? And I told you I was born in Beirut, Lebanon. And Beirut, Lebanon, that Beirut explosion on August 4th in 2020, remember? The one I talk about all the time, the biggest explosion we've ever seen in real life, that they showed. Anyway, so that was on August 4th, which is the day I'm telling you Trump gets his head wound, because they're playing games with us, folks. Anyway, so why am I showing this Los Angeles port thing, the portal? The Spanish meaning of Los Angeles, in English, it translates to the angels. Los Angeles translates to the angels, I guess. Is that correct? Does anyone speak Spanish in here? Is that what that is? And also the nickname of Los Angeles is the City of Angels. Okay? And that's when I came to this country in Los Angeles. But I live right now in Glendale, which is called the Jewel City. The Jewel City. But the reason I'm showing you this, folks, is I told you everything is connected to me in this birthday. Los Angeles was founded on September 4th, which is my birthday. Okay? And it was founded on September 4th, 1781. And I'm going to have a whole video on the 1781 tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow, but the next video should be that one. Let me just show you this. From the day that Los Angeles was founded on my birthday, but in 1781, to my birthday, 1964, is 66,840 days. And why is this important? Because did you know that from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days? Look at that. So it's 6684 with a crown, the amount of days. You see? And I have 66 years, 8 months, 4 days from Elvis's birth to the day the Twin Towers fell. And the reason why the twin is so important, because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth. That's what this whole thing is about, this twin stuff. And if you think these 6684 stuff is just coincidence, look, from Elvis's birthday to 6/11 is 154 days. If you don't add the day, 155 days. If you add the day, you add up the percentage for each one of those. 154 days, that's the percentage for a year. 155 days of it is 42.47. You add it up, you get 8466. You see? Which is what I just showed you here. 6684, or what I was showing. Who cares about my connection? I don't care about that. But the connection to 9/11 was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. Okay? Anyways, let me keep going here. Give me a second. So remember, we're talking about that because remember, Los Angeles was founded in 1781. Look at this. If you were to take 1781 and minus it from 10,000, because see, the 10 or 1,000, everything in increments of 10 is a reset. So like 1 to 10 is a reset, 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000, 1 to 10,000. So obviously you have 4 numbers, so you have to minus it from 5 numbers. So 10,000 minus 1781, which is when the Los Angeles was founded, is 8219. Seattle equals 8219. You see that? And I'm going to show you a video on this, but you see what I'm talking about here? How it all connects? all that stuff that I've been showing you. And if you think this 8219 is just a coincidence connecting to Elvis in Seattle, you know, look, from the first of the year to Elvis's birthday, the day the identical twins were born, is 8 days. 8 days is 2.19%. From Elvis's death to 6/11 is 300 days. When you add the day, it's 82.19%. What is that? What's going on here? That's Seattle, 8219. You understand? That's to Elvis's birth, 8219. Elvis's death to 6/11 is 82.19. There's that 8219, which all connects to Seattle. I've shown all this, folks. This is nothing new. But you see this? It's all connected. All right. Now now I'm gonna go back to the. Hold on. I can't hold the phone anymore, folks. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, anyway, folks, there's so much to information. It's impossible to make it simple. There's nothing simple about this puzzle, you know. I could just sit there and just tell every day the same thing and just say, all right, I don't have to show any more info. I've already proved it. I don't have to show any more. But I'm just showing you everything I can, I have like 100 more videos to do, but I'm never going to get to it, because that's how perfect this puzzle is, that every single piece of the puzzle had to be perfect because they're building a foundation, and it has to add up every year till they get to their apex, till they get to their capstone. All right. Make sure you guys thumb up the video. Make sure you guys comment after the video is up. All right, so let's keep going here. So you know that Elvis, he was born on 1/8, and he needs that 9. And he got to last year when he turned 89, because he was born on the 8th day, he needed that 9. He already got to the 9 last year. But he needs a crown, so he needs to get to the 90, and he turned 90 this year. Okay, on January 8th, he turned 90. So now look at this. Remember, we're talking about the Elvis head, right? Look. So the word head equals 18, and backwards it equals 90 in reverse. You see that? 1890. You see what I'm talking about? And look, he's born on 1/8, Elvis, and if you add all the numbers between 1 through 8, it equals 36. You see how it all connects? 36 ends here too, 108 here. Look, it's perfect. Look at this. 1818, because there was 2 of them born on 1/8, the identical twins. Now you have 90 with 1/8. You see what I'm talking about? How it all connects. And the word head, it's exactly. And by the way, I told you everything connects to 94, 95. 94 plus 95 equals 189. You see that? Because Elvis needed the 9, right? 94 plus 95 equals 189. All right? And if you put a crown on the word head, it equals 33. You put the letter O, 1833. You see that? I could show you all the connections with that, but I'm not going to show you that here. But 1830, look at this. So you have the head, and you put a crown. And the 33 is the number for ascent, is like the, because Jesus was crucified at the age of 33, and he rose from the dead at 33. So it's the number of ascension too, Okay? So that's why it's super important, the 33, The CC, the letter CC. Elvis is the CC rider, you know what I mean? Anyway, so, I told you Trump is the image of Elvis. So look, you put heads, the word heads with an S now, with Elvis Donald, you get 154, 64, 218 in the front numbers. Forget the back numbers right now. Look, the Antichrist equals 154, 64, 218. So that's interesting that the word heads with the name Elvis and Donald together has the Antichrist connection. It's not fully exactly, but so, at least there's some connection. And heads also has the EL connection. If you just put heads, it equals 37. But so does the word hell, which is, nothing to be. But again, it's just the forward numbers. This is no big deal. But I'm just showing you some connections with the heads. So heads would be two circles. I know it doesn't look like that. It looks like two eyes and some other stuff. But heads, two heads, or two crowns on the heads equals 67. Elvis equals 67. Three heads, the triple crown, is 82. Seattle equals 82. And I told you Elvis with a crown equals 82. You put O Elvis, just like portal. Portal equals 82. The word portal, O Elvis. Elvis with a crown equals 82. Okay? You understand? Because O is the 15th letter, so 67 plus 15 would be 82. You know what I mean? That's why you have a triple crown here. But anyway, and remember earlier when I was showing you the EL, because I told you it's about the Elvis Trump, Elvis and Donald, it's the two ELs, EL. If you watch my videos, you know what I'm talking about. Remember I showing you it was equaling 36, 45, and then back same numbers down here, 4, 5, 6, 3, same numbers. And Elvis was born on 1/8, all the connections. But look, the reason I'm showing you that, because look at this. If you were to put a crown on Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name, put a crown on Lucifer, put a crown on Satan, because Satan was Lucifer in heaven. He lost his crown, Satan. Okay? So if you look what you get, 360. Look at that. So the triple crown with those three names, 360, 450 backwards. Look at that. It's the 36 and the 45 with crowns. Look at all the numbers. Look at that. 495. There's that birthday connection. I was born on 9/4, but it landed on the 9/5 day. I'm just saying it's weird stuff there. That's all. No biggie. And lastly, with the heads thing. Heads with Elvis, Donald, and Barack, because Barack's born on August 4th. That's why Trump's going to get his head wound on Barack's birthday. And that's why Barack was the president before Trump. Anyway, because he's like the third wheel in this charade. So heads, Elvis, Donald, Barack. Look, it equals 1, 9 with a crown and 82. Look, 1 through 9. I told you it's 45. But the point is, it's 1982. Seattle equals 8219. Same numbers, you see? Okay. And there's other numbers in there that are important. But anyway, and remember, Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4, and Obama's born on 8/4, and on leap year, 8/4 lands on 8/5. Remember, just like my birthday's 9/4, but it hit the 9/5 because it was a leap year, right? So 8 times 45 equals 360. That's the day Trump gets his head wound on 8/4. And what do you need to get from 8 to 45? You need the 37, the EL, see? That it's so important, this EL, because the 3 and 7 looks like the letters EL. 3-7 looks like EL or 7-3. So 8 to 45 needs the 37, right? And 8 times 45 equals 36. And 8 plus 37 is 45. You get what I'm saying? So again, you get the 40. So again, you get the 4, 5, and the 36 connecting with the 8, 4, 5 numbers. 8, 4, and 5. Get it? Just the 37 is in between it. So 36, 45. But anyway, the 845 is very important. Why is that important? Because look, if you minus 845 from 1,000, it equals 155. And that's from Elvis's birthday to June 11th. If you add the days, 155 days. And 155 is the first number when written out that equals 216, and that's August 4th. You see how it all connects to each other? 845, 155. When you minus it, 155 is from Elvis's birthday to 6/11. When written out, 155 equals 216. August 4th is the 216th day of the year, 8/4. On a leap year is 217. All right, folks, my hand. Oh, My hand's completely numb, folks. I can't even feel it. So much pain right now. All right, man. I hope you guys are understanding this because this is so complicated, man. I'm about ready to lose it. Yeah, make sure you guys thumb up the video. Just give me a second. Sorry about the delay, folks. I can't, like I said, I need the numbness to go away. I'm not gonna be able to lift the phone up. All right, let's keep going. So you know that everything connects to George Washington because that's what Washington State's named after, right? And he was the father of our country. You know what I mean? So now, from George Washington's death date, look what happens when you go from George Washington's death date. So from George Washington's death date on 12/14/1799 to this year 6/11, look at the amount of, first of all, it's 225 years. We're in the year 225, obviously. But look at the amount of days. 82,360. 82,360. Look at that. Seattle equals 82, and the Elvis Head area code is 360, like I told you. The Elvis Head area code. You know, see what I mean? There it is again. I'm just saying that's a coincidence, I guess. And remember, I was telling you how everything is about the 247, 248. Look what happens when you do this. Look at this. 247, 248. Look at this. 24 times 7 is 168. 24 times 8 is 192. You get 360. And that's my birthday, 247, 248th day of the year on a leap year, right? I was born. And 94 landed on 95. Everything's about the 94, 95, remember? And look at this, 24 plus 7, because you know the Space Needle is going to be 63 years old in like a few days. 24 plus 7 is 31. 24 plus 8 is 32. Adds up to 63 because we're doing the 247, 248, right? Watch, just keep watching. So you have the 63 connection. A minute ago you had the 360. So 63, 360. Get it? Same numbers. Now watch what happens. Instead of doing 24 times 7, now I'm doing 2 times 47. 2 times 47 is 94, which is my birthday again, and I was born on 9/4. And it's the 247, 248th day of the year, 9/4, on a leap year. 9/5 is 248, 249. But anyway, 2 times 47 is 94, 2 times 48 is 96. Add it up, you get 190, okay? Now watch, keep watching. 2 plus 47 is 49. 2 plus 48 is 50. And that equals 99. But look, it's got my numbers, 4950. There it is again. That's my birthday, 9495 with a crown. But it equals 99. Now, what I did was I added up all those numbers that I just showed. Look, 99, 190, 63, and 360. Those numbers that I just showed you, the totals, watch what happens. Look, you add up the big numbers, 360 and 190, you get 550. You add up the small numbers, 63 and 99, 162. Look at that. Satan with a crown, June 11th, 162, day of the year. See that? 5-5 with a crown, 162. I'm just asking, are these coincidences? Like, how many coincidences can you get, man? Look at this. I just added up all those numbers that had to do with the 2478, you know, and I can show you much more. This is just, you know, I'm just trying to connect it only to certain things and not make it too complicated. It's already past complication, you know, it's beyond ridiculous. Anyway, so sticking to the 360 connections, you know, Elvis, he's born on January 8th and he died on August 16th. If you put into the gematria calculator January 8th, August 16th, to just whatever the letter is in the alphabet, A is 1, B is 2, you just add up every letter that you see here, it adds up to 360. And that's Elvis's birth and his death. You see? And wait a minute, where's the other one? Give me a second here. And it just so happens that that, you know, Vernon Presley, his father, has the same connection. Look at this. April 10th was his birthday and January 26th was his death date. He's got the 360 also in his birth and death. You see? January 8th, August 16th equals 360. That's Elvis's birth and his death. And Elvis's dad has the same connection, 360, with his birth and death. Now, if you still think that's a coincidence, let me give you another one. From Elvis's birthday to 6/11 is 155 days on a regular year. Are you listening? From Elvis's birthday to 6/11 is 155 days. From Vernon Presley, his father, 4/10, his birth, to 9/11 is 155 days if you add the day. Did you see that? So it's the same amount of days in between Elvis's birthday to 6/11 and from Vernon Presley, 4/10 to 9/11. So they connect to the 6/11 and the 9/11 to their birthdays. Same amount of days. I mean, can you believe this? Anyway, so they have all the 360 connections, you know, and remember Washington, he died in the 12th month, you know, and you know the word Washington equals 130. Check this out. Washington equals 130, okay, the word, and 12 times 30 equals 360, okay, and look what it is. The first month is 12, right? If you just started from the December month, it'd be the 12th month. Then the next time December comes around, it would be the 24th, then the 36th, then the 48th, then the 60th. If you just kept on going every 12 months, the 30th time down would be 360. So look at this. 1 to the 30th number down is 360. Get it? Washington equals 130. So Washington, 130, get it? Then 360. You see what I'm saying? It's the 360 connecting to Washington. So that's what I'm trying to show here with that connection. All right. And if you still don't believe it, keep watching. Okay. Keep watching. What is Seattle's area code? It's 206. You know the Antichrist equals 154? You add up the Seattle area code with the 154, you get 360. See that? There's another 360 right there. And if that's still not enough, let's keep going to the next one. If you were to add up 6 plus 11 plus 20 plus 25, which is the date Washington State gets struck, it equals 62. Add Elvis Aaron Presley, you get 216. Add Seattle, which equals 82, you get 360. Now, I'm just saying, how much more coincidences do you want to get? Now, are you telling me this is a coincidence too? You know? I'm just saying, when does the coincidences stop? You know? And, you know, this is not too big of a deal, but, you know, Elvis was born on 1/8. I thought L18 was funny, that it equals 990. I mean, it equals 90. Sorry about that. It equals 90 and then 54. And you know, it's the 9, 0, 5, and 4, right? My birthday connections. And look, and America's age connection. I told you the 248, 248 day of the year, 248 years, America's age. And look, from Elvis's birth to this year, 611, look at that, 95 and 4. See it? 95 and 4, 95. That's my birthday again. From Elvis's birth to this year, 95, 4. Get it? 90 years, 5 months, 4 days. Okay? And Elvis was born on 1/8, the 18 I was showing. The 1/8. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, right? And just like August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound in Ohio, Obama's birthday is August 4th, the 216th day of the year, which is 6 times 6 times 6, and which equals 216. But what's crazy is Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. So you see how he's all connected to everything, the 666 and everything? All right, now, if you still think there's a coincidence, this Elvis head, all right? Give me a second here. Hold on one second. So remember, they were calling the Seattle area the chop zone, right? This area right here, Seattle, during the pandemic, they were calling this area the chop zone because they're going to probably chop something off. And that looks like Elvis's head, right? This is Elvis's side profile. This is Elvis's head. This is where that 360 area code is, and where the capital is over here somewhere. All right. And so we're talking about the head, right? And so what happened on Elvis's birthday? What happened on Elvis's birthday in 2011 when Elvis turned 76 years old, okay? What happened to Elvis? Not to Elvis. What happened? Because Elvis is already dead. What happened to Elvis that day? What happened in Seattle on January 8th, 2011? Look at this. You can't even make this stuff up, man. So when Elvis turned 76 years old on the day of his birthday in 2011, he's already been dead. Look what happened. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network recorded the Beast quake on January 8th, 2011. That's Elvis' birthday. And you have Marshawn Lynch who did it. What do they do when they lynch someone? What do they use? I mean, like, where is it? Like near the head, right? The neck, the head. Okay, and it was a 67-yard touchdown where this guy returned it, and the people went crazy in the stands and caused an earthquake, supposedly. And for the people who know that Taylor Swift did it too, just like a year and a half ago or something. And I talked about that also because that creature's connected to it too. So there was a beast quake, okay, on January 8th. All right, and he's known as like they call him beast mode. That's why they're calling it the beast quake, because the guy who ran it was Marshawn Lynch, who was known as beast mode. See, but really, what are they saying, folks? They're talking about Elvis because it's called the beast quake, right? And it was on his birthday, right? And remember, the Lynch connects to, first of all, 67, like I said, Elvis equals 67. And if you write the word 67 out, it equals 162. If you wrote out the letters, 67, turned it into words, it would be 162 it would equal, which is June 11th. But look, it happened on his birthday. They're talking about Lynch, something to do with the head, right? It was a beast quake, okay, in Seattle. It was in Seattle, folks, this beast quake. See, it says in Seattle on January 8th, Elvis's birthday. And look, it was 67 yards, and Elvis was 76. Same numbers, 7667. And 6 times 7 equals 42. 7 times 6 equals 42. Same numbers. And and Washington's the 42nd state. Elvis died at the age of 42, right? And um, and on this day, speaking of, because remember it's about the lynch. Lynch has something to do with the head, the neck. On that same day, on that same day, what happened? On that same day, January 8th, 2011. Let me just type it in because I don't want to say it. I want you guys to see it. Okay. So remember, on that same day, there was a congresswoman. There was a congresswoman named Gabby Giffords on that same day that the beast quake happened. Notice it's 18 other people supposedly. Who cares about that? Gabby Giffords. The GG is the 77. Elvis died in 77. But look, Gabby Giffords was shot. And where was she shot? You know? Where was she shot? Yeah, see? Now remember, we're talking about January 8th was the day she was shot. See? She was shot in the head. So she got a head wound, the congresswoman. Okay, are you listening? The congresswoman got a head wound on January 8th, and she survived the head wound. She got a head wound the same day the beast quake happened. Okay? Yeah, that's a good one. Someone's talking about the beast quake having a connection to the 360. Folks, I'm not really looking at the chat. See, what happens is I get a little distracted. But anyway, so the Gabby Giffords was shot in the head. So another head connection. Do you understand? And this one was in Tucson, Arizona, right? Let me just show you. I don't think I wrote it out, but let me look if I did. No, I didn't write it out, I don't think. Let me just tell you the connections. So remember, the same day the beast quake happened in Seattle on Elvis's birthday in 2011, you had the connection with Lynch and the beast quake and all that. And then you had Gabby Giffords get shot in the head on the same day, and she was shot in Arizona. Arizona is the 48th state, okay, which is the 8-4 numbers backwards. So you have a connection to every, because remember, we're talking about the head wound, because Trump's going to get his head wound on 8-4. Okay, now watch. So 48th state, and it was in Arizona. Arizona equals 84. Somebody check that for me, because I forgot to check it, because I remember talking about this a long time ago. Arizona equals 84 when put into the calculator. But Arizona is the 48th state, okay? And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound in Ohio, which is the 17th state. And you know what's funny? That Arizona, Ohio should have been the 48th state because they didn't enter the 17th state in time. So it should have been the 84th, the 48th state, Ohio, because they entered it wrong when they first did it, supposedly. So there's a connection to 48 and to 17. Or something like you. I got to look it up, but it's some connection that they did wrong, which connected to what I'm saying. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So you have the head wound with the beast quake on the same day, Elvis's birthday. Okay, the head wound, and hold on. Also, what happened on that day? Let me play this. Okay. Listen to this. Oh, that's not it. Darn it. I have to go to YouTube. Give me a second. Listen to what he says. This is Obama speaking, okay?
Everyone said go to a traditional.
But I have to be careful how long I play. I gotta stop it because it's a copyright.
I have just come from the University Medical Center, just a mile from here, where our friend Gabby courageously fights to recover.
So he just went and visited, okay? And why was he visiting it? Because Gabby, after she got her head wound, she went into a coma. Because remember, folks, I'm saying that Trump's going to get his head wound, be pronounced dead, but somehow he makes a miraculous recovery. Okay? Are you listening? He makes a miraculous recovery and comes back from the dead. Okay? Now, remember, she's in a coma. She's basically out of it, right? Get it? So Obama went and visited her because Obama was president at the time when this happened.
Even as we speak. And I want to tell you, her husband Mark is here, and he allows me to
and you know who he's talking about? Her husband is Mark, the astronaut's brother, or whatever. I think he's the astronaut, and he has a brother also. One of them is an astronaut. I don't care. And maybe they're both astronauts. I don't know. But he has a twin. So you understand? Because Elvis had an identical twin. And she was shot on Elvis's birthday. Okay? And so he's about to say what happened when Obama visited her.
Share this with you. Right after we went to visit, a few minutes after we left her room and some of her colleagues from Congress.
So he's saying that he visited her room after she got her head when she was in a coma. Listen to what happened.
We're in the room. Gabby opened her eyes for the first time. Gabby opened her eyes for the first time.
Okay, so do you understand what just happened? She was resurrected. She opened her eyes for the first time. Okay? And when did she do it? 4 days later, which I've been telling you guys that Trump gets his head wound on August 4th, and most likely he's pronounced dead, but he doesn't open his eyes until August either 7th or 8th, because you know how they're mocking God, either with the resurrection of Jesus after 3 days, or with the Lazarus, because after being brought up on the 4th day, So it's either 8-7 or 8-4, but I believe 8-7 or 8-8 that he gets resurrected. But I think it's probably going to be 8-8 because I've shown all the connections with that. But 8-4 is when Trump gets his head wound. Okay? In Ohio. All right. Now, so Obama is born on August 4th. Don't you understand what I'm showing you? So he's born on August 4th. She gets the head wound on Elvis's birthday, the same day the beast quake happened. She goes into a coma. 4 days later, he visits her. She wakes up. 8-4, 4 days later, 8-8. Do you get it? Okay? Because Trump's going to get his head wound on 8-4, Obama's birthday. That's why Obama was the president before Trump. That's why he was elected in 2016, 2017, Trump, because 216, 217 is August 4th. Do you understand? The 216, 217th day of the year is August 4th. That was when they were elected, 2016, 2017. They went from Obama to Trump in 2016, 2017, right? And how old was Obama when Trump was elected and became president? 55. 55 is Satan. Satan equals 55. All right. Satan equals 55. And Obama was 55 when Trump was elected and when he became president. And how old was Trump when 9/11 happened? 55. See, it's got, because they have to have those connections with big events to Satan, right? And now pay attention. Remember, she got her head wound on Elvis's birthday, the same day the Beast Quake happened in Seattle. And she gets the head wound. She's in a coma. On Elvis's birthday, she got the head wound. Obama visits her and she wakes up. So August 4th, he visits her 4 days later on 1/12 because she got her head wound on 1/8. Elvis's birthday, he visited her on 1/12. Okay? Do you understand? Because Obama was born on 8/4. He was the president at the time when she got the head wound. Now, just to show you how it's connected to Elvis and Satan, look at from Obama's birthday to the day that this head wound happened. Look at this. From Obama's birthday, August 4th, 1961, to the day Gabby got the head wound, the same day the Beast Quake happened on Elvis's birthday. Look at that. 18055 days, if you add the day. Elvis is born on 1/8, and then 55 is Satan, see? And look at that. 495, that's my birthday again. 495, get it? And of course, you have either 4 days or 5 days left. 49 years, 5 months, 4 days, or 49 years, 5 months, 5 days. And that's what that equation is. So you see what I'm saying here? 1/8, and then you have the portal to the 55, which is Satan, right? And if you think that's a coincidence, if you were watching earlier, see, look, why this is important. Because, see, 18 plus 37 is 55. And why I'm trying to show you is what did he need to get from 18 to 55? Remember, look, it's 18, 0, portal, 55. What is the O? 18 was the O, was the 37, the EL, because the 3 and 7 looks like the letters EL. EL to the 55. 18 plus 37 is 55. That was the O, the portal. 18 times 37 is 666. You see what I'm saying? And Elvis was born on 1/8 and Elvis has the EL. You understand? Because everything, and what does Satan need? He needs the 666, right? Satan needs the 666. So what does Satan need to get to 666? He needs the 611. Are you understanding? 611 plus 55 is 666. Okay? You understand how impossible that is? And hold on, what did I do with the other? I'm missing a card here. Give me a second, folks. What did I do with the card? Oh, I guess I gotta make it up. I didn't do it. Oh, I lost it. Let me just real quick make it up. I gotta write that. Hold on. What did I do? I don't understand what I did with it. Weird. So, just real quick, look. So remember, I told you that 611 plus 55 is 666, right? That's what Satan needed, the 611 to get to the 666. 611 plus 55 is 666. And look, my two predictions, 6/11 to August 4th, when you add the day, it's 55 days. There it is. 6/11 needs 55 to make 666. August 4th is the 666. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And Satan equals 55. And August 4th is the 216th day of the year. And Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. Because that's the day when Trump gets his head wound that Elvis enters Trump. Okay? That's the day Elvis will enter Trump and become the abomination of desolation. The Obama nation of desolation. Get it? Because it's Obama's birthday. It's this is like the most ridiculous puzzle. You understand? Because Satan needs the 6/11. You understand? Satan equals 55. Okay. And by the way, I could show you so much connections with this Gabby Giffords, showing every single thing. I'm going to show it. I don't care. If you guys can't see what I'm about to show you, then there's no hope for you. There really isn't. If you can't understand what I'm showing is beyond, that it's all connected to my birthday connection, the 9495, because we're in the America's age is 248 years, which is the date 95. But on a leap year, my birthday was on 9/4, September 4th on a leap year, lands on the 9/5 day, right? So again, let me show one more time this part, the way you can see. So remember, it was 40 from the day Obama was born to the day that Gabby Giffords got, her head wound and the beast quake happened in Seattle on Elvis' 76th birthday. Look, it was 49 years 5. So you had the 495. That's my birthday connection, 9495, right? Now watch this. From Gabby Giffords, where is it? From my birthday to the day Gabby Giffords was born, look at this. In between our birthdays, 9/4 to 6/8. Look at that. It's 9 months, 4 days, 9 months, 5 days. From my birthday to the next time Gabby Giffords' birthday comes around, it's 9 months, 4. Look at that. You know what I mean? And look, from my birthday to the exact day that she's born, look, it's 5 years, 9 months, 4 days. There's that 945 again. From my birth to the day she's born. Why? I'm just asking why. And from the day that, watch this. So from the day her shooter, the shooter of Gabby Giffords, supposed shooter, look, he was born on a leap year, 9/10, which falls on 9/11 because it's a leap year. Look at that, 66. It's like 6. It's the twin number. 66 is twin. The word twin. 67 equals Elvis. You have a crown. Look at this. 18 years, 3 months, 3 days. Okay, watch how this connects. Look at this. First of all, if you add up the numbers for the days, that's the shooter's name, and that's the Gabby Giffords who got shot in the head. 15 and 18 equals 33, right? And 15 and 18 equals 33. Look, 18 to get to 33 is 15. 18 plus 15 would be 33, right? Right here, see it? And why am I showing this? Because look at this. From Elvis's birthday to my birthday, exactly from our birth, look, it's 108:33. You see? And I told you that 6/11 connects to the 6/10 and 6/11 connects to the 6/12 because 6/11 is surrounded by those two. Add it up, you get 1833. You see that? 108:33 days is 1833. 18 years, 3 months, 3 days in between the shooter and Gabby's birthday. Between my birth and Gabby's birth, you have the 9495 connection with the years and the months and the days. You see what I'm saying? From my birthday to the next time Gabby's comes around. Then 49 years, 5 days from the exact date happened from Obama's birth to her. You see what I'm saying? And from the shooter, from my birthday to the shooter now, look, from my birthday to the shooter, Look at that, 24 years, 7 days. And September 4th is the 247th day of the year. You see? But on leap year, it's 248. But look, it's 247 years, 7 days. So that means if this was 9/11, it would have been 24 years, 8 days. You know, because we're in the year 248. You know, I'm just saying, like, why all these, strange connections? I mean, coincidences. You know, it's a lot of coincidences. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Just a lot of coincidences connect to the 9495. And if you see my videos, you know that Trump is connected to those numbers with his birth date. I'm saying. Okay, now, lastly, this is gonna be the last part of the video. But what is this? Oh, yeah, I need to show this, even though it's. But anyway, the whole point was that the beast quake happened on a head wound day of Gabby Giffords, right? And what happened? Remember, think about what I'm telling you. So Obama was president on January 8th. I mean, Obama was president when Gabby Giffords got her head wound, the same day the beast quake happened in Seattle. Okay? Pay attention. And you had the name Lynch involved. Lynch has something to do with this area. You get it? So that was on Elvis's birthday when Gabby Giffords got the head wound the day the beast quake happened in Seattle. Gabby Giffords gets the head wound in the 48th state, Arizona. There's your 8-4. Arizona equals 84. Gabby Giffords was born on 6/8. 6 times 8 equals 48. She's born in Arizona too, and she gets her head wound on Elvis's birthday. Obama visits her. She's in a coma. 4 days after she got shot on Elvis's birthday, he visits her. He's born on August 4th. She wakes up from her coma. She opened her eyes. So 4 days, Obama's born on 8/4. 4 days after Elvis's birthday, she wakes up. So you have that connection with, I'm telling you, Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4, Obama's birthday, right? Now watch how it all connects. Now I'm going to bring it all around for you. So remember this? It's something I've shown 100 times on this channel. I'm going to show it again for anyone who's watching who doesn't, can't grasp, how simple this puzzle is once you see it for what it is, I'm saying. Here we go. This is Trump. Listen to what he says.
This time, it is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence. This time.
So, what you're seeing here is Trump holding a moment of silence for the shooting that happened to him when he got his ear clipped, because somebody died that day behind him, supposedly, right? When they missed him and they clipped his ear. He's saying 6/11. You know why he's saying 6/11? Because that's not the date. It's the time. He got shot at 6/11, the time, right? And what does he say after that? He says 12 weeks. 12 weeks is 84 days. 7 times 12, right? 7 weeks. I mean, what did he say? 12 weeks, I'm sorry. 7 days in a week, 12 times 7 is 84. So he got shot on 7/13, by the way. Okay? He went back to Butler, Pennsylvania, which is the BP initials. B is 2, P is 16. The 216th day of the year is August 4th. And Austin Butler played Elvis. He's in Butler, Pennsylvania, the BP, the 216. And he goes back to Butler, Pennsylvania 84 days later. Listen to what he says, 12 weeks after he says 6/11.
This time, It is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
So you understand what you just say. So 6:11
6:11, 12 weeks to the
and
minute
12
that
weeks,
the shooting began.
which is 84 days. So he's telling you my two predictions. And what did he do the day he got his ear clipped? What did he do the day he got his ear clipped? He stood up, and what did he do? He went fight, 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 which is the FFF, which is 666, but that's not what it is. The fight, fight, fight reference is to Gabby Giffords, the one who got the head wound. That's because Gabby Giffords was the one who did the fight, fight, fight after she got her head wound. That was her slogan. Okay? Do you understand now? And the resurrected, it's all connected. It's connected to the 611, that beast quake, the head wound day, him referencing that, and 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. FFF, get it? 666. And the August 4th is the 216th day of the year. He goes back there 84 days later, after to the same place where he got his ear clipped. He went back there 84 days later, and he does this moment of silence. Okay? Hold on. Give me a second. I'm trying to catch up to the chat. All right. So anyway, like I said, if you guys, if your jaw is not on the ground, I don't know what you guys are thinking. It's such a perfect puzzle that's impossible for these events not to happen the way I'm telling you. The only thing I didn't know was the year. I knew the players involved, I knew the dates, I knew the places, I just didn't know the year. And that's because God wanted me to calculate the number of the beast. And you guys, man, look, man, thumb up the video, people. All right. So this is the last thing I'm going to show here. So just to prove to you again how I'm connected to this, because of course God is going to use the person who's connected to the puzzle. You understand? It's not a coincidence that Elvis, his identical twin, his middle name is Garon, which is Garon. My name is Garo. It's Garo. He's got my middle name. It's all connected, folks. You'll see. I have much more to show, but I'm not going to show it here. But I just wanted you to see that the connection of. You know what? I'm not even going to show this because you guys are, it's not even worth keep going. But anyway, folks, because I have much more to show when I say much more, I mean the connections to me, but I'm going to hold off and show it in a different video. Really, Jenny? I didn't know that. That's a good one if that's true. I never heard of that. Yeah. But anyway, anyone who got in late, make sure you watch from the beginning. All right, because it's so complicated, this video, man. So I'll stay on another like 10 minutes if anybody has any questions. As long as it's under 2 hours, I'm okay with it. No, for the people who don't know why the 9 and 5 is so important, I'll explain it to you right now. You see, if you've seen my videos, you would know. Give me a second. I have to write it all out because I forgot to do this part. Oh, I don't even have a marker to. So anyway, let me just tell you this. So this word, because everything has to do with the twin, because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth, right? So look, just real quick, that way you can understand why this 9 and 5 is so important. So the word twin equals 6621, and backwards is 4224, okay? The word twin. That's why the Twin Towers fell 66 years after Elvis was born, because Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth. Anyway, the word twin is the backwards numbers of 9 and 5. See, twin is 6621 in the forward number and 4224 in the backward number. So 9 equals twin, but backwards the numbers. 5 equals twin, but backwards. So 5 and 9 equal the same. It's only two numbers that equal the same in single digits. 9, 5, and when you put them together, it equals 8448. You see that? But it's because of the and by the way, NF, the initials is 614. Look at that. That's Trump's birthday. But look, 9 and 5 are the same. It's the twin number. That's why. And it equals the backwards number of twin. Twin is 66, 21, 42, 24. This is 42, 24, 66, 21. That's why. Okay? Do you understand? Did anyone not get that? That's why the numbers 95 are so important, which of course I'll explain in a future video some more. I have so many videos, folks. They're just waiting for me to do. I just have to write them out and read and put them fluid. Let me ask somebody, do you think anyone could take these amount of information in cards and try to make it sound logical? Come on. I guarantee nobody can do this to make it sound logical. I'm saying a puzzle like this. No way. Okay? Anyway, I'm not going to get into my connection. I'm saying I'm not going to explain it all because I guess some new people don't understand yet. But they will. Hold on. Yeah, I see your comment. Yeah. About the 9-5. That's, yeah, amazing. God bless you and your family. Hold on. Yeah. Anyway, again, just real quick for the person who doesn't understand. Listen. I was born on September 4th, 9/4, but it landed on the 9/5 day because it was a leap year. Because 9/4 is a 247, 248 day of the year on a leap year. So 248 is actually 9/5 on a regular year. That's what that means. When you hear me saying 9, 4, and 5, and why is that? Because 1 through 9 equals 45. It's the perfect number. It's the last number before we get to 1, 0. Okay? Back to 1 to the 0, all right? It's the last click, you know? before the reset again. Do you get it? And why is that? Because 1 through 10 equals 55, which is Satan. So Elvis, who was 1 through 8, equals 36. He needed the 9, 1 through 9, which is the 45, because he needs that trump, the 45, which is the bridge, the portal, the crown. He goes through it to get to Satan, to get to the 55. But it's much more than that. I'm just trying to make you understand. He has to go through, he has to go through the portal to get to the other side. Right? You get what I'm saying? Once you get to the 10, he shoots through, because the 10 connects to the 11 and so on, Well, no, the closest, no, I didn't have a twin, but my brother and sister are twins, and my sister had twins. My brother and sister are twins. I have an older sister and a brother and sister in the middle who are twins, just like the O in between. And what is her name? Elo, ELO. You understand? But see, people don't know my testimony. For the people who are new, I have a testimony video, but you want to watch it. It's 2 hours, 8 minutes long from over a year ago. But if you just type in Jurassic testimony into the YouTube search, it should take you there. But I have to redo that one because it's, I want to make it more up to date. Not up to date. I'm saying what I mean? It looks like it's too old, the video. But yeah, anyway, like I said, it's Trump. Yeah, Trump is his, and that's why, listen, in the movie Zombieland, I told you in Zombieland, which I've done videos about, it's all about the twins and about Elvis, and it's you got to watch both. You got to watch the first one and the second one. Watch them, back to back. That way you can fully grasp it all. And I've talked about this before, even before this, that I even ever showed the zombie stuff. I was saying that Elvis, the only president he visited was the 37th president, which is the EL, the 37, right? And what did Elvis do? He brought a gun with him, and he gave him a 45. He gave it to Nixon, right? He gave him a gun. Gun equals 42, by the way. Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state. And he gave him a 45. Okay? So he gives Nixon a 45. And in the movie Zombieland, what saved the Elvis character? Because Woody Harrelson's playing the Elvis character, and he's hanging, and he's about to lose his grip, and because somebody's holding onto his legs, and he's about to go down with the zombies, someone takes the 45 that he gave Nixon, and the person uses the 45 to shoot the person who's holding on to the Elvis character and saves him. So what saved the Elvis? The 45. Get it? Do you understand? If you watch the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you. 1 through 9 equals 45. And that's why if you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, folks. So anyway, if you see anyone talking about Elvis and Trump and connecting it to these dates, they got it from me. All right. I've been talking about this for years. All right. All these Johnny come latelys, I'm talking about everywhere, all over YouTube right now. Johnny come latelys. None of them were talking about what I'm talking about. Yeah. Anyway, God bless all of you. Anyway, God bless all of you. Like I said, just stick around and you're going to see it all come to fruition. Yeah. And by the way, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is 9 months, 4 days. And on leap year, it would be 9 months, 5 days. Well, I don't know if that changes actually, but it's 9 months, 4 days for sure. So again, connecting to me. So from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 is 9 months, 4 days. And I was born on 9/4, which is 8 months, 4 days is Obama's birthday, the 8/4, when Trump gets his head in. So 8/4 connects to 9/4, And 9 months, 4 days is in between Elvis's birthday and 9/11. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. The impersonator one, that's a good one. Anyway, all right. And by the way, I'm not doing a live stream tonight because my throat hurts. So I'm going to rest it. So I hope everyone who came in late watches this from the beginning. And thumb up the video and comment under the video. All right? Anyway, make sure you watch from the beginning. And if you don't understand something, just watch it again. Folks, this is biblical prophecy. This is no joke. All right? I'm trying to explain to you. I've dedicated my whole life to this basically for the last how many years now, So understand that, this is no joke, man. Anyway, I'm just one person, man. I can't do any more than what I'm doing. All right. God bless all of you. Jesus is God. End of video. Like I said, make sure you watch the whole video and thumb up the video and comment. End of video.